Hello everyone, my name is H.ALKRTY. Today I will give you a short presentation on climate change. Very important topic today. Our topic today is extremely important because without, if the international community does not address this problem, uh, the global will come to the end because climate change is a very important uh, topic. So that's why we have to talk to you about it. So previously I have spoken about the Africa, agent, AIDS, HIV, children rights, food shortage and hunger and poverty, human rights, peace and security, population, water, health, refugees, big data for the sustainable development goals, and today our topic is a climate change. So this topic has been divided into a six part. So the first part is going to be the definition of climate change. What is a climate change? Then the second part is about the human fingerprint on government on greenhouse gas. So it's a human fingerprint on a greenhouse gas. The third one is going to be about the United Nations Intergovernmental Panels on Climate Change, and the fourth part is about the fifth assessment report, and the part before the last one is going to be about the United Nations legal instrument, United Nations framework convention on climate change. I will mention two or three conventions that's related to climate change. And the last part is going to be about resources and references. So I have placed some link there. So if somebody wants more information, just go to one of these links so you can get more information about this topic. All right, if you're ready, let's get started. The first slides about the climate change. What is a climate change? Climate change are caused by change in the total amount of energy that is kept within the Earth's atmosphere. So climate change, the change of the weather, such as the wind, a lot of rain, or there's lack of rain, drought, famine. All this indicate reason of the sea levels and the temperature, whether it's cold, so cold, or very hot. So this all indicate to climate change. Climate change is one of the major challenges of our times and adds considerable stress to our society and to the environment. So the climate change is real. Therefore, the international community has to come together to address this problem before it's too late. So from shifting weather pattern that threaten food production to rising sea levels that increase the risk of catastrophic flooding, the impact of climate change are global in scope and unprecedented in scale. It hasn't happened before. This is absolutely something new, or something like hasn't happened before. The world are experienced something new in terms of a climate change. Without drastic action, or without immediate action today, adapting to this impact on the in the future will be more difficult and costly. So We have to act today for the coming generation, otherwise it's going to be so difficult and very, very expensive. Therefore, we have to act today before tomorrow. We have to act today before it's too late. So the human fingerprint on gas hold in greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases occur naturally and are essentially to the survival of humans and millions of other living things. So by keeping some of the sun warmth from reflecting back into space and making Earth livable. So without this, the Earth is going to be very hard or difficult for human being to live on the Earth. A century and a half of industrializations, including clear-felling forest and certain farming method, has driven up a quantity of greenhouse gas in atmosphere. As population's economics and standard of living grows, so does the cumulative level of greenhouse gas emission. So it's very important, as I said, the climate change is a global problem, therefore the response has to come globally. We're still in our topic in our slides about the human fingerprint on greenhouse gases. There are some basic, well-established scientific link. The concentration of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere is directly linked to the average global atmosphere on Earth. The concentration has been risen steadily, and that means global temperature along with it since the time of the industrial revolution. The most abundant greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, is the product of burning fossil fuels. So this all indicates that the climate change is real and therefore has to be addressed. The United Nations Intergovernmental panels on climate change. So the world has taken action on climate change. Therefore, there is many organizations that provide objective source of scientific information. For example, the year 2013 provide more clarity about human-generated climate change than ever before. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panels on Climate Change released its fifth assessment report, which looked at the science of climate change. It is they come to conclusion that climate change is real, and human being activity are the main causes of the climate change. Abuse of the environment by human activities that cause climate change. So the report, the fifth assessment report, has provided a comprehensive assessment of sea level rise and its cause over the past 10 years or 20 years. It's also estimate cumulative CO2 emissions since pre-industrialized times and provide a CO2 budget from future emission to limit warming to less than 2 Celsius. So about half of the maximum amount was already emitted by 2011. Thanks to the IPCC, this is what we know. From 1880s to 2012, the average global temperature increased by 0.85 Celsius. Oceans have warmed. The amount of snow and ice have diminished, and the sea levels has risen. From 1901 to 2010, the global average sea levels rose by 19 centimeters as ocean expanded due to the warming and ice melted. The sea ice extent in the Arctic has shrunk in every successive big amount 10 years since 1979, with the 1.7 divide into 106 kilometers square of ice loose per 10 years. This is just the evidence that the science has proved that the climate change is affecting the earth and will affect the livelihood of millions of people around the world. It's affecting right now in Africa. We can see the famine, we can see the drought, we can see the the agriculture production being affected by climate change. There is hunger, short of food, and there is poverty because of the climate change. Are we still in the fifth assessment report? Given current concentration and ongoing emission of greenhouse gases, it's likely that the end of this century will see a 1 to 2 Celsius increase in global warming, or mean temperature about the 1990 levels, about 1.5 to 2.5 Celsius above the per-industrial levels. The world ocean will warm and the ice melt will continue. Average sea level rise is predicted to be 24 to 30 centimeters by 2065 and 40 to 63 centimeters by 2100, relative to the reference period of 1986 to 2005. Most aspects of the climate change will persist for many centuries, even if emissions are stopped. There is alarming evidence that important tipping point leading to the irreversible, which means will never change, in major ecosystem and the country climate system may already have been reached or passed. Ecosystem as a diverse as the Amazon rainforest and the Arctic tundra may be approaching the threshold of the dramatic change through warming and drying. So the climate change is real, as we can see the evidence that's being provided by the scientific, the people that they making they doing the research. So what the role of the United Nations as the international organization that has a legal obligation to address the problem that's facing the world. So there is convention on climate change. So the United Nations family is in the front, in the forefront, leading the effort to save our planet. In 1992, it is Earth Summit produced the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change as a first step in addressing the climate change problem, which is great. Today it has a near universal membership. The 197 countries that have ratified the convention are parties to the convention. The ultimate aim of the convention is to prevent dangerous human interference with the climate system. And the other convention called Kyoto Protocols. By 1995, countries launched negotiations to strengthen the global response to climate change, and 2 years later adopted the Kyoto Protocols. The Kyoto Protocol legally binded developed countries parties to emission reduction target. The protocol phase commitment period started in 2008 and ended in 2012. The second commitment period began on the 1st of January 2013 and will end in 2020. There are now 197 parties to convention and 192 parties to the Kyoto Protocols. So the state has been encouraged to join the club, or to join the agreement to address the global or the climate change. We have another convention, which Paris Agreement 2015. So at the 21st century conference of the party in Paris, parties to the United Nations reached a landmark agreement to combat climate change and to accelerate and intensify the action and investment needed for the sustainable low carbon future. So the Paris Agreement built upon the convention, and the first time bring all nations into common cause to undertake ambitious effort to combat climate change and to adopt its effect with the enhanced support to assist developing countries to do so. As such, it charged new course in the global climate effort. So is agreement that's been signed by a huge number of countries around the world. So climate change is real, and it's the international or global problem. Therefore, the international community has to come together to address this problem. So on Earth Day, 22nd of April 2016, 175 world leaders signed the Paris Agreement at the United Nations headquarters in New York. This was by far the largest number of countries ever to sign an international agreement on a single day, just single day. So yes, in one day there is more than 175 people have been signed the Paris Agreement, which is correct, because the international community has realized that the climate change is real and is global problem, and therefore has to address globally. So we come to the end of this session today. I would like to thank everybody for listening. And before I let you go here, there is some resources. There is some there is some links I have placed here in the last slide. So if there is anyone interested to gain more information about this topic, please feel free to visit one of these websites and get more information. I would like to thank you once again. Thank you so much. Bye for now.